Okay.
Yes.
Kalyan, are you still on fruit diet?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I'm Rashi.
So you are also ma'am. Yes, yes.
So how are you? It's like it's been a long time, right?
Yes, today 35 days.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, you started in June, na?
Yeah,
It's
first
already
June.
more
First
than a
June
month.
onwards, yes.
And
Kalyan face is glowing.
Yeah, you are glowing.
वो तो लाइट की वजह से ग्लो कर रहा है. क्या बोल रहे मीनू?
गिनती किस लिए कर रहे हैं इतनी?
नहीं, वो याद है 1 तारीख से शुरू किए थे. वो तो इमरजेंस है अभी. अच्छा हाँ, 35 डेज. वो काउंट कर करके नहीं जा रहे. आज मीनू भी ज्वाइन की थी.
मैं ये कह रही थी कि आप बोल रहे थे कि हाँ क्या?
आज मीनू भी गौरव के सेशन ज्वाइन की थी डॉक्टर कौर. तो बहुत अच्छी क्वेश्चन की है. मतलब बहुत मीनिंगफुल क्वेश्चंस उसकी थी. सुनना, मैं रिकॉर्डिंग भेजूंगा. लास्ट के पोर्शन में है. या मीनू, यू आर सेइंग.
Oh, very nice. Very
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
I also want to hear.
Yes, I'll share.
I was saying that when we were saying
video on करो. Yeah, बोलो.
when we were saying that planning the ticket
Booking
is,
the ticket.
हाँ, बुकिंग द टिकट का आप क्या बोल रहे थे कि वो
मतलब
प्लान नहीं है.
हाँ, ऐसा करके अगर कर रहे हो करूँ तो भी चलेगा, नहीं करूँ तो भी चलेगा. That kind of state of being. Oh, that cannot be counted as plan. How can that be? How can that be? Planning is a sensation.
हाँ, तो अगर बुकिंग में ऐसा फिक्सेशन है और बुकिंग कर रहे हैं तो दैट इज अ प्लान.
Yes. Isn't it?
हाँ, बस
that's what
मैं कह रही थी.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, just as there is a vicious cycle and a loop of ideas, is there a virtuous cycle of awareness in that sense, that it's
that cannot
once
be called
it's set into
that cannot be called awareness, but there is a pseudo consciousness.
What do you mean by that, pseudo consciousness?
Conditional, like for human being, for example, majority of human beings. और का कुछ मैं म्यूट किया डॉक्टर कौर. when you will be speaking, please unmute and speak. There was some noise. Yeah. So yeah, I was saying that for example, conventionally, majority of human being considers the treatment as cure. Like they say that this particular autoimmune disease do not have cure. Actually, with medical fraternity, there is no cure at all. There are treatments of the symptoms, but conventionally people started calling it as cure, so that pseudo consciousness prevails within human being that this is cure. So definitely there is like the universal consciousness which is common, we just map with it. Then pseudo consciousness is also mapped, which perhaps you have not devised, you have not designed, but you become a part of it, you inherit it, you continue the flow. So that also is a parallel consciousness. Yeah.
So the one that I was asking was the one where it's the universal consciousness or the awareness. And would it, when I say that it has a virtuous loop, in a sense, a cycle, it's because
virtuous,
there is certain...
Are you saying virtuous or virtual? Virtuous.
Virtuous.
Oh, okay,
yes.
okay. Then I misunderstood. Yeah, please repeat them.
So just as the ideas have a vicious cycle in terms of the loop that it creates, so someone who is now aligning with the universal consciousness, with that awareness, would there be a virtuous cycle of sorts also?
Yeah. This is very needful thing. Like the vicious cycle is not an opinion. No? It's not an opinion that this is vicious, this is wrong. This is a mathematical fact. It is, since it is repeating, it's actually, we may opt to call it as a repeating cycle. So repeating cycle itself is a toll on energy. That is why it is termed as vicious cycle. We may actually rephrase it as repeating cycle. So there is nothing called virtuous cycle. If it is repeating, then it is a toll on energy. In nature, it's not a toll. That is why it is not since it is not repeating, that is why it is not a toll.
How can we say it does not repeat in nature?
Because like if it is coming through the senses, then it is a particle input. It's a physical input, and physical.
So with
input,
awareness,
so awareness
it
is
is
a
never
byproduct.
repetition.
Awareness is a byproduct, but it starts with the physical information entry, which is a form. So form means it has an end. So the product of it also will have an end. The impact ends, the experience also ends. You understand?
Can you give an example?
Yes, the slap, the hitting hard on the cheek, but it is not a repeat slap. It is just one slap. So the pain that occurs here will end because the action ends. Since the action ends, the impact or the sensation due to this action also ends. Make sense?
Yeah,
Why
but
it is not a
say
loop?
say in nature, like, there are times in the day when, say, animals come to the watering hole.
Okay.
So isn't that a repetition?
That's a repeating action, is a overall, like it's not a repeat without any physical input. There is a physical, it's, if it is coming as suppose without any reason, then it is a repeating thing, the vicious cycle repeating. But here, every day the animals come for water, it is because of the physical requirement of water. It is not for nothing they are coming. When you interpret that slap as insult, it is your imagination, and which doesn't have any foundation, actual foundation. It is just your assumption. Then for no reason it keeps repeating. Now,
So
when
if
there
I
is a
have a
physical
reason
requirement,
for repetition, then
physical
it's
reason,
okay.
physical reason,
Physical reason.
yeah, ideated reason, we may consider it as a reason. Yeah. So I was thinking this evening only, that see the requirements, the actual requirements and the excitement both happens in the sensation level. The requirement has got a physical reason behind it, but the excitement is just imagination. You are excited to do something and you need to do something. Both things are experienced in the sensation level, but one has got a background, the real background, another has got an imaginary background. The excitement is such looping. Dr. Dubey, good evening. How are you doing, sir?
Good evening, sir. I'm doing great. Back
Very
to
nice.
normal.
Great to hear you.
It took a bit longer time, but with
Yes.
natural way, yes, without any expectation where I will land up and imagination. Just I supported my voice of the organism as and when required, and I was in rest for 2 months. Clinic closed,
Very nice.
office closed, everything, and just supported. And I am very grateful and grateful to my family members
Yes.
who were along with me with full heart and emotions. They supported me well, even
Very
every decision. One day, my elder brother came to me and he just said कि गोपी आपको कुछ दवाइयाँ तात्कालिक हम बोले भैया मेडिसिन विल नॉट वर्क फॉर श्योर ये हम देख चुके हैं I took 1 week of antibiotics but didn't work and my symptoms are still persisting. I will have to go in the same natural way and what time it will take I don't know, but I will go and see. Yes, lost my weight much, about 9-10 kg. I was 51 and again came to 40. But it's okay, fine. I'm feeling free, lighter, better, no breathing problem these days. So that's happy.
Very nice. Very nice. Sir. Shankar sir, how are you doing? Video तो on कर दो sir कभी.
And I enjoyed Shankar sir company a lot.
Yes, yes.
And he revived me a lot. Even I was not out of my home for last 2 months, and we traveled around 12-13 kilometer along with car. We visited my farm there.
Very nice.
He energized me. He accompanied me with even on my duty, 6 hours. So I enjoyed his company, and I'm eager to join your company too.
Sir.
Perhaps you people were planning to have some get together in Kolkata only.
Yeah,
somewhere.
we were planning. Let's see if it can happen now. Otherwise, in maybe mid-September, we are planning for a Mumbai short trip.
Sir.
And November also in Mumbai will be having workshops.
Every time I plan and I landed up to some healing crisis and could not.
That's okay. That's more important. These dramas will continue.
Yes, yes, that will go on. So a healing process is on and on and it will.
हाँ वो तो ऐसे भी on ही है हरदम like sometime actively it comes sometime it's there just.
Okay.
Hi Nandini. आज का कॉल नहीं हुआ था नंदिनी.
Yeah, I thought you were going to call and then.
नहीं, actually I was going to call, but मुझे एक दो कॉल आ गया फिर वो छूट गया दिमाग से. 1 o'clock हो गया था.
So,
yeah. Anyway, tomorrow we are going to discuss only. It's not a final presentation. So the topic will be discussed tomorrow. Whatever your point collection, just keep it ready.
Okay. And what time is it going to be?
3 p.m.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, Dr. Kaur, Dr. Dubey, Shankar. it's
yes. Sorry.
It's just one plan we are discussing. Non-obsessive plan.
Sir, how you are doing right now?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Yes, sir. Yes. And this fruits journey actually is very impactful, it seems. Though we understand that there is no healing power in fruits, but it helps us to conserve a really phenomenal energy. Yes. So I'm on fruit from last 35 days and it's almost healed the leg issue. And the kidney issue actually got reversed first. which I was
Sir.
actually suffering from last 2 years. So,
Sir.
so it's
Great.
yeah, I'll definitely update once I'll finally experience that there is no extra sensation in my feet. Still there is pain, but it's going off. Yeah.
Sir. Even I love to go on fruits than salads. I love to eat
Yes.
fruits more in comparison to salad. I don't know.
We all human do that.
But yes, if a salad and fruits are together, kept together,
Yeah.
I will go with fruit first for
Who
sure.
will not? Who will not? If some knowledge is not operating behind, everybody will just jump for fruits. Binal bhi has rahi hai.
Yes.
Binal is 15th day. How many days? Stop
Started
counting.
on 10th
That's
of June.
25 days.
Great.
Menu ka
I had one.
410th days. Yeah. Yes, Binal.
I had a doubt was coming back to that there is no such thing as a loop in that sense unless there is a repetition of the loop is in terms of the sensation, the how
Repeat.
it's felt.
Repeating. Yeah.
So why is it so therefore there is nothing like a virtuous cycle and nothing like a vicious cycle in
Yeah.
that sense.
Yes.
So going forward, why is it that initially when the reinstatement of inquiry is taking place, it's because we are so conditioned, it's a little effortful in the beginning, but
Because
later
of the
on it
uncaging.
becomes effortless.
Yes, because of the uncaging. That cage that we create within ourselves, because of the repeating loop, it's a cage that we form for ourselves. So when it's a reinstatement of inquiry is happening because of the stoppage and all the stuff, lack of vitality, then that initial phase, it's an uncaging process that one undergoes. For inquiry, there is nothing like much of energy is not needed. It's very free flow. But because of the uncaging process, it's very effortful to begin with. And that is what is different names we can give. Like addiction is also one name. It's actually state of addiction, which takes a lot of effort to come out of addiction. Yeah. और कुछ? Any point? Rashi, Shankar sir, कुछ बोलो.
Hello.
Yes.
I was just relating with the terminology which was used in our last PNC sessions with that emergence and obsession. How do you call where do you find reality to be in the natural way or the unnatural way?
So reality
of sensation.
Yeah, reality
By the body.
Yes. So reality basically, actually, we need to understand the language and the meaning of it. Many times, truth is also called reality. For understanding sake, we would like to re-look at it. The truth is something equivalent to the physical existence. Reality is the sensation of truth, which is experienced by individual, and that brings a rationality or awareness ultimately. So the reality basically is equivalent to sensation, which is customized by individual. So that's why the reality differs, truth never differs, individual to individual.
So can this reality be termed as what do you call it? Part analysis?
Reality is a part, yes, interpretation, individual interpretation.
And many realities can become the whole, leading to the awareness?
It could be a part of the whole if it is triggered by the actual truth. If it is triggered by the imagination, same, the reality can be also a conditional reality, which is created by the mind, by the ideas.
But what
And
about awareness? Awareness can also
awareness,
become
the source of the awareness is always truth. Truth comes without any condition and becomes a reality, and that then it gets converted into the awareness or the
now,
rationality.
reality is something to do with the sensation part of the body,
Yes.
and the awareness is perception.
Yes. Perception is actually graduation of sensation. And sensation come from the, actually, ideally it should come from the senses, but it may come from the perception also, which gets stagnated. Yeah.
If it doesn't get stagnated, if there is a flow, that means awareness is there. If
Yes.
it gets stagnated, it's unnatural.
Yes, and we can identify this very easily with the conclusions that we make. If we are very concrete, rigid in our
And the
considerations.
rigidness can be handled by that particular person only. Nobody else from outside can help him. He has to break that
That
jinx
holds
or
true.
that loop.
That holds true for everything. Yeah. At the individual level, this holds true for everything. Nobody from outside can bring a change within an individual. If it claims to be bringing a change, then it's just another assumption and short term.
We can only share our experiences or the realities. That is at the most we can do.
Yeah, that's
Nothing more
also
than
not
that.
needed. That's also not needed actually. Not needed much. It's actually, if it is happening by product, as a byproduct, then it's fine.
If it's emerging, if it's emergent or happening, it's okay. But otherwise, there is no need to run behind telling others that my experience is this and that.
Yes, if we start considering that if I share my experience, then this is going to benefit these people. So these all are stories that we feed ourselves.
Okay, then. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Minu, you unmuted, then you muted back. भूल गई?
मैं कुछ वो रियलिटी के बारे में कुछ बोलने वाली थी, बट आई हैव फॉरगॉटन व्हाट इट वाज.
So I was also wondering about, like, reality. क्या ये experience है, like, for everyone, and therefore it's partial because everyone is experiencing that the physical truth uniquely at the sensation level, and therefore experience will always be unique and partial and an interpretation, and therefore just an experience.
You mean sensation, right? Experience means the sensational experience.
Yeah, she's talking about reality.
As in, one reality, one may be experiencing the reality which is coming from the physical input, and one may be experiencing the same reality with ideas in it. So like a conditional one. So, and both are experiencing the same event in a unique way, if they are confronting perhaps the same thing.
So at the senses level also, these are different, unique, because of the spatial positioning. Different spatial positioning of the two individuals will lead them to experience uniquely. Let the event be the same, whatsoever the truth may be. Yeah. Experience is always customized.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
when we say that um, whatever this fruit diet, whatever is happening, um, and then we consider that through experience also we can understand that this is getting resolved, that is getting resolved, and all that stuff. Um, isn't that in a way concluding
May,
that
may
it
not.
is
It may
because
not. If it is concluded, then it's going to it's not sustainable. But if, if you are looking at it that this particular healing has happened, looks like it has happened, but let me see what comes next. Then next experience, then you are again looking forward to the next experience as a natural knack. That cannot be counted as conclusion.
yeah, I
And when
understand that.
moreover when you understand that there is no such healing happening, it's just a metabolic fact that you are experiencing. Like the metabolism has got building up and breaking down both. So breaking down is commonly considered as negative, but in terms of metabolism, it is not a negative. It is just happening. So there is no such healing thing actually, deeply, if you are observing. It's a part of the process.
Yeah.
So what was the question? Something was coming. I think I suppressed it.
The thing was that in that Gaurav, um, like everyone is suffering from something or the other, and the proposal is to have fruit, and then what is being looked at is whether they are getting rid of those symptoms or not.
No.
And
That's a shallow interpretation. It's not that so. He has a depth.
sorry,
He has a depth. He might be
no,
proposing
I'm
to,
not
yeah.
questioning his depth or whatever it is, but
And whoever is taking howsoever, that we cannot again conclude.
yeah, we cannot. Sure.
Yeah. Then what happened?
Yeah.
They started with that people are considering this, so we cannot say that how one individual is considering what. How can we?
No, we are not considering
तो
that.
झिझक क्या है
I was
बताओ ना.
not talking about the people. The when we associate having fruit with something, with the experience of having fruit, that is what I'm questioning. Like ये खा के मुझे ऐसा experience हो रहा है, मुझे light लग रहा है, ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है, and all that stuff. Are we attributing, when we are attributing the fruit with this, isn't that a limited way of looking at it? Like, I mean,
Well, yes, I hear your point. Like it could be a medicinal approach in itself, like considering fruit as medicine. Fruit खा के मुझे ये हो गया, right? So So now it actually
Of
depends.
course, everyone is individually processing it or whatever it is.
Yes.
But suppose if this is being processed this way, then it is what? Like, what does
Yeah. So let me
mean?
Just share my experience to begin with. Then the interpretation on all those stuff that we can take up. So since 2017, I started this journey of looking at myself, that whatever I am doing, is it okay to continue, or can I change something? Like criticizing myself and to be skeptical about myself, that actively started in 2014 to be in particular. 17 onwards, the Psi solution in the journey started. So 2014 onwards, the reversal of the choices started. It might have been replacing with some other choice, and the story of choices continued for some more time. But ultimately, a sort of active inquiry started since then. Now, a lot of reversal happened. You guys know all those stories: the reversal of diabetes, reversal of ankylosing spondylitis, then the kidney episode in 2019. So now, after that, there was no relief. Kidney episode was supposed to be like gotten over, but it was not getting over for long, and there was some kind of fixation operating, and I kept on continuing with the cooked food and all. Now, just within 10 days, 15 days of fruit diet, only fruit diet, the experience changed. Now, it is not the impact of that 15 days only. I'm not saying so. But the trigger, like the allergic trigger, the trigger seemingly that, yes, if I would have not changed the fruit to fruit diet, then we don't know how much time. Like it was just, I was coming to the peak, but it was not happening. जैसे वो that day I was saying that in a well, एक कुएं में अगर कोई कुत्ता गिर जाता है तो वो कूद के निकलने की कोशिश करते रहता है, but due to the lack of energy it was not able to jump up to the brim. So that was happening to me. Now changing of the fruit actually made that happen. Now overall gamut, if we look at, then definitely it's the overall conservation of energy which is operating. But changing of the fruit is also a fact that has happened physically. Experientially, if we look at it, then this is also a fact. But the shallow interpretation will happen if someone is concluding and making it, like one lady was saying that I want to have cooked food, that is why my target is to achieve this result blood test. So that's very shallow thing. But the individual who is facilitating this conversation has got the depth that you experience today. I think that he has a depth of understanding. Just for the sake of people's interpretation, he doesn't bring an ego and rigidity about his understanding also. Okay, go with your understanding, but whatsoever reason, if you are bringing a change food wise, then something more experience, meaningful experience may happen to you. That's what is the proposal so far I found from him. Anyway, 1 minute is left, it seems. So we'll continue. I'm sure you'll be having a lot of reflections on this. So, आज good night बोलते हैं, है ना?
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye bye. Bye bye, Nandini.
Bye.
Bye bye. Good night. Bye bye.
Good night. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you. I'll collect my points. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Bye.